What's up, guys? I'm super excited to tell you about a new feature that Shopify has just launched for its Plus merchants. It's called Flow. Now, as most of you know, I'm a big fan of Zapier. I typically refer to it as my secret weapon. Connect anything with anything and create complex procedures with a simple interface. Well, Shopify has just launched a new app called Flow, and this app is amazing. It basically is an e-commerce automation platform that lets you easily automate tasks so you can delight your customers. Flow helps you increase operational efficiency and gives you the ability with new business opportunities. Oh, you can focus on what matters most, growing your business faster. So I have a little bit of a demo, so let's check it out. Okay, so once you've gone to the App Store and you've installed Shopify Flow and you go to your apps on the left-hand side, you'll see it shows up in your list of installed apps. Then what you want to do is you want to go actually into Shopify Flow. Now once you get into Shopify Flow, it's going to give you the splash page to tell you to create a workflow. Now workflows are basically flow charts that walk you through how a process is automated. So if we go create workflow, what it's going to do is it's going to take us over to a page which looks like a flow chart. So here we go. So now we're in the Flow app. Now a couple things to note. Your flow takes place here. On the top left-hand corner, you have the name of the flow. You'll be able to save it as a friendly name once we save it. We're going to do that right now, actually. So let's go and save it, and we're going to give it a title. So this is going to be, we're actually going to do a fraud detection flow as our example. Fraud detection. So save that. And we're going to start off by adding a trigger. Now a trigger is when an event occurs on the website. So if we hit add trigger, you can see on the right hand side here we get a number of triggers that are offered by Shopify. So we have customers created, we have inventory change, order created, order paid, those kind of things. What we want to do is we want to go order risk analyzed. So when you go order risk analyzed, so when the order has come through, it's gone through the whole payment process, Shopify will run that order through a risk analyzer, and that analyzer will come back with three variables. It's either a low, a medium, or a high. So what we can do is we can add separate conditions based on what Shopify brings back. So first, the select condition that we want, what we want to do is we want to go in here and we want to find risk level. So if we click on the risk level, now there are multiple if statements that you can put in here. There's alerts, there's a billing address, if it matches a certain piece. You can go in and play with these and figure out exactly which ones work the best for you. But I'm going to use risk level because it keeps it simple for the sake of this demo. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if it's equal to or not equal to. I'm going to say if it's equal to. And then I get another drop down, low, medium, or high. So in my business, if I have any risk analyzed that come through as low, I'm pretty much just going to process them. So I can skip over low. Where I run into some problems is when they're in the medium to high. When they're in the medium to high, I want to check to make sure that this customer is a real customer. So typically what I would do is I would go and send them an email. So if a medium order comes through, so we can see how the flow chart is going here. So start when an order risk is analyzed. If the order risk equals medium, then yes, then we're going to add an action. So that action that we're going to do, we can do a number of things. Inside Shopify, we can add tags, we can update order notes, we can archive the order, we could cancel the order, which we'll get to in a moment, or we can do external things. We can send emails, send a Slack message, or send an HTTP request. For the sake of this demo, I am going to put in an email so that we can see it working. So I'm going to go and write an email to myself. And I'm going to say medium order received. And I can also add template variables in there. So if I go add a template variable in here, these are unique variables that come from that order. So if I wanted to say put the ID in there, the order number, I could do that so that when I go back into my dashboard, I know where to look it up. I can also do one other thing, which is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to save that. So now, when the order risk is analyzed and the risk level equals medium, it's going to send an email to me, tell me that there's an order that's been received. So I don't have to watch every single order. So things can, continually flow through, and if they're all really good, it's no problem. I don't have to go through each one. But if one hits the medium level, then it goes and sends me an email. Additionally, I want to add another condition, and this is again for the risk level, and I want to add if the risk level is equal to high, then I found that most of the time when it's a high risk level, then it's pretty accurate, so I actually want to cancel this order. So I'm going to cancel this order. I'm going to restock this item, and I'm going to give it the reason of fraud. Now, we can decide whether we want to send an email to the customer notifying them of the cancellation because sometimes they screw up their billing address or it doesn't match up. I think this is probably a good idea. We're going to send them an email notifying them that it's been canceled so that anybody who's trying to provide fraud would get the new email and they say, nope, it doesn't work on this store, so we'll move on to another store. Once we hit save, we have the workflow saved. Now, here's the great thing what we can do. With other services like Zapier or If This Then That, what you have to do is you have to actually go and create orders and you have to run them through the process. The tricky thing is if you have very small edge cases where it might be difficult to run through, maybe you don't want to charge your credit card with a couple $1,000s in order to make sure that it goes through, what you can do is you can actually hit preview workflow. And what the preview workflow is going to do is it's going to take all of the values that you have set up in your store and it's going to give you options to fill them out. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to take my sample order that I have in my store and it's going to give me an ID. That ID I can change to any ID that I want if I want to test a specific ID, and then I can set my risk level. So if I set my risk level to medium, what I can do is I can hit preview workflow and it's going to go through and it's going to show me that it triggered the risk analyzer. It's going to go to the risk level equals medium and it's going to send an email to Jody at howtoshopify.com. So if I hit preview, we can actually see what that message looks like. And one of the things that I've noticed is it just has an order number in there. So that's not very easy to understand. So now and I can change the email. So I can actually go and put some more descriptions in here. I can go order number, so like so, and if I preview workflow again, and I put that to medium, I preview the workflow, and then I can go back in and I can preview what it looks like, and I can see the update immediately. So you can create pretty complex emails that go up. Also, Slack messages and webhooks. So if you want to integrate with an external system, you can send off your request via webhook. And then if we want to go and preview it for another version, so if we want to do it for risk level high, it gives us the preview result. So it gives us the risk analyzed, and then it gives us the condition. The order risk level is medium, so it skipped over that one, and then it goes order risk high, requirements met. Okay, great. What is the action? And cancel this order. This order will be canceled, and it will give it the tag fraud, or the condition, the reason fraud. And that's a pretty quick overview of how Flow works. So I recommend you go in, give it a try, set up your own unique flows. Once we hit save, and I can now enable this, and we go back to the dashboard. So I'm going to close this. We can see that the dashboard is now changed, and it shows me which flows that I have up. So I can now put in as many flows as I need to put in here. There's an integrations tab which allows you to integrate other softwares. I've got Slack integrated right now. There are more integrations coming. Right now they're the only ones that are set up to send messages, but there will be more coming in the coming months. And that's a basic overflow of Flow. Yeah, and then if you have any questions beyond that, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them.